What kind of cereal did medieval people prefer? Cornflakes, Wheaties, or chocolate-covered sugar bombs? Did they ever make bread with soda or potatoes? What about banana bread? These and other questions will be answered right after this. I'm Professor Jerome Markenberg, and I've been teaching a wide variety of history courses at colleges across this country for the past 30 years. In this video, I'm going to tell you about the various cereal grains grown in medieval Europe, how medieval physicians classified these various cereal grains according to their humor and quality, and which cereal grains were thought best to consume for both the elite and the common folk, at least according to medieval physicians. Now, before you go, make sure to click like, share, and especially subscribe, and that little bell thingy, so I can continue to bring you more great videos just like this one. In medieval Europe, barley bread, coarser and denser than wheat bread, was considered suitable only for manual workers, according to the physicians, as it was thought only their stomachs could handle such coarse bran-filled foods, as, according again to these physicians, it caused gas while cooling and moistening the body. Nonetheless, since barley was the grain of choice for beer making, more barley was grown in Europe than wheat. Millet was criticized by medieval physicians for its cool and dry nature, its constipating effect, and its low nutritional value, unless it was prepared with milk, meat, or broth. But it was nonetheless eaten by peasants and the poor in soups and porridges, or as animal feed, especially in Eastern Europe. Oats thrive in cool, moist climates, and thus they become a favorite food among the peoples of Northern Europe, who ate it as oatmeal, otherwise known as gruel or porridge, but only if they couldn't afford it. But in Southern Europe, it was considered nothing but animal fodder, a famine food. They'll eat it, it's better than death, but not by much. Medieval physicians described it as a coarse food for coarse people, with a cooling, constipating effect on the body. Rice was brought by the Arabs from North Africa to Spain and Sicily in the early Middle Ages, and by the 15th century was grown on a large scale in northern Italy. Medieval physicians regarded it as a fortifying and nutritious food that increased the blood, especially useful for feeding the sick, but also as rice flour used in stuffing, sauces, side dishes, the famous white dish blanc manger, and various Lenten dishes. Rye, flourishing in cold and wet climates, eventually became the favorite bread grain in Northern and Eastern Europe. However, when attacked by a certain fungus, rye develops ergot, and if contaminated rye with this ergot is eaten, it causes hallucinations, a dancing mania, kind of like the St. Vitus dance, and death. Though medieval physicians asserted it was of a cold and flatulent nature, it was digested too quickly and would provide little energy, but the peasants ate it anyway. Besides triticum and durum wheat, medieval people also cultivated einkorn, spelt, and emmer wheat, most of which was turned into bread, although it also went into stuffing, pottages, sausages, and soups. A small supply of wheat could be stretched as well by mixing it with rye to make what is known as Maslin bread, which you see here. Physicians regarded leavened bread, made from the purest and finest wheat, as the best and most nutritious, with the most expensive white bread from the finest wheat known as pain de Maine, or Manchet. But even this still had the wheat germ that is normally removed from modern white bread, so even though it was certainly not as nutritious in the Middle Ages as rye or barley, it still was more nutritious than modern-day white bread. Pies, tarts, cakes, fritters, and frumenty, a picture of which is shown here. Frumenty was a thick wheat porridge, often boiled in a meat broth and seasoned with spices, kind of like a spicy cream of wheat with meat added to it. I should say meat broth. All of these contained wheat flour, and breadcrumbs were used as the thickener of choice for many preparations, such as sauces and stuffing. Bread was also a popular coloring agent because, depending on the degree of toasting, it could impart color to a dish, ranging from light brown to black. During famines, bread was also often made with broad beans, or fava beans, the same thing, chestnuts, even acorns, which could be turned into unleavened flatbread or a porridge. It doesn't taste great. It's kind of like potato bread. You can make bread out of potatoes. It didn't have potatoes in the Middle Ages. It's okay. It's not much, but it's better than death. Sort of. So, let me know what you thought about this video and what other historical topics or subjects you'd like to see in future videos in the comment section below. Be sure to click like, share, especially subscribe, as it will help me bring you more great videos, and click on that little bell thingy so you'll know when the next History Waits for No One video is posted. If you want to know more, there are recommended studies on this topic in the description below, along with other ways to connect with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the past.